Boom. Back in my other hat. Okay. While we wait for Peyton to join first, because we don't know she's... See, I was right. Hey, Michelle Peyton, long time no see. It's been what? Minutes? I actually just sat here and said, while we wait for Peyton to join first. Michelle, thanks for joining from BC. Happy Tia Tuesday, everybody. I'm sorry I had to adjust the timelines, but, you know, work is work. Doing a thing for BevTry. So now I'm just going to switch proverbial hats in this case. I just put on a hat. Cheers. So, like I said, so Michelle, you weren't on the other session. Peyton was. I was looking to do this outside, but unfortunately, oh, here it comes. The thunder started rolling. Love that song. Not sure why. Not a country fan, but I dig that tune. And I can hear the rain coming down. And if it gets heavy enough, I'll take you guys over and you can see. It's just starting. It's always a comforting sound up here. Anywho, there you go. Elizabeth, again, long time no see. Oh wow, you made a Boulevard Maria. Look at you. Look at you. That's fantastic. Elizabeth, thank you for hopping back on. I've seen a couple people that I think are going to be on trivia tonight. So I'm going to kind of wait for a few people and I hope a few more people to show up before I drop some of the facts about things. And once we're done, Elizabeth, I'll text you what the actual thing that people need to know to qualify is. Yeah. This is what a week off looks like to me. Still working. I actually had one of my favorite sales reps, Laura, who looks after KW, London, Guelph, Cambridge area, reach out to me because I'm doing a virtual event next week with a group called the London Club. It's a private club. A dash of D, welcome back, my dear. And I'm doing a virtual event with them. For some reason, I thought I had like an additional week in between, but I've got like a couple of days. So I had to order all of the packaging and bottles and labels and stuff like that I need to put together the cocktail kits for these people that I'm doing a virtual cocktail class for next Wednesday at the London Club. So that was fun. Spent a few hours this afternoon working, finished off my expenses, all of that kind of behind the scenes, not so fun stuff that I do for my job. And I think I'm going to take, Miss Hebden, happy belated, my dear. I take my hat off to you. Happy belated, Carla. Cheers, my dear. It's been far too long. Carla and I go way back. I won't bore them with the inside jokes, but you know exactly what I'm thinking, right? There you go. Anyway, yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks for hopping on, my dear. So yes. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So yes, I'm going to be doing this trivia night with Elizabeth, and we've got some fun stuff. But yeah, taking a week off is not really taking a week off for me. But yes, I'm going to start doing like a day in the life of me type introspective type thing. Oh, Jesus. I was wondering if it was going to be Cyrus or Superfly, which I knew you were going to throw one of them out there. Yeah. I'm working, so I have to be professional, so I can't fire back some of what I would. But you know you're going to get it in DMs later. So there we go. JTLX, thanks for joining. Walco, thanks for hopping on. If you guys are here for trivia night, I'm glad you made it. If you followed me and I didn't say thanks for the follow, I do appreciate it. All right. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Tia Maria because it is Tia Tuesday. And I know you can see some of these fun bottles behind me like Di Serono and Di Serono Velvet. This is a creamy liqueur that is coming to LCBOs later this year. We're looking at, I think, an August, September launch date. Once I know more, you'll know more. Some of you sooner than others. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So Tia Maria, what is Tia Maria? Peyton, stop that. Behave yourself. Ms. Khan, thank you for joining. Tia Maria. So Maria, thank you for hopping on. It's been a while, my dear. Thank you for joining. As you know, I represent both DiSerrano and Tia Maria, and I often get asked, which is my favorite? And I say it's kind of like a parent picking their favorite child. But we all know there's a favorite child. And I am that favorite child. And I can say that because my sister's not on today. Although she would agree with me. I don't know why. I'm a jerk. My sister's a much nicer person, especially these days. Anyway, Tia Maria, cold brew coffee liqueur. Now, a lot of people are like, ooh, now it's got vanilla because it now says vanilla on the label. No, it's always had pure Madagascar vanilla. It's always been 100% Arabica coffee. It's always been a cold brewed Arabica coffee liqueur. We are the original cold brew coffee liqueur. Always have been, always will be. We didn't change the recipe. We just changed the label because we want to highlight the fact that we are cold brew. How do we do that? I'm glad you asked. What we do is we take our Arabica coffee beans. Now, why Arabica? Everybody's all about Arabica. McDonald's is Arabica. Tim Hortons is Arabica. Starbucks is Arabica. Arabica, 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 Arabica. And yes, I had to practice saying that 5 times fast earlier, just to make sure that I didn't, sprain my tongue, because that would suck. Whew. Anyway, why Arabica? Peyton, you're going to get yourself banned from these things if you keep that up. Between you and Stan. Anyway, why Arabica coffee beans? And for those of you out there that are listening, this might be key later. We use Arabica coffee beans, and I'm speaking to those for Elizabeth's trivia night about that. We use Arabica coffee beans because of where they grow. Arabica coffee beans grow higher up on the mountainside. Now, we harvest our coffee beans at anywhere from 800 to 1,200 feet above sea level. Okay? Why? Fewer bugs at that level. You get fewer diseases on the trees at that level, which means you're going to get a healthier bean. It also means you have less need for things like pesticides and other chemicals. We're not going to say we're organic. We don't source from a single estate or plantation or whatever, because if there was a natural disaster, we would be screwed. So we do source from multiple locations, but we always source from a minimum 800 feet above sea level to 1,200 feet above sea level. That is prime growing range for Arabica coffee beans. We take those coffee beans, we bring them in-house while they're still green. We roast them in-house at 200 degrees for about 12 hours. We do a coarse grind on them, a very coarse grind. And then we soak them in a cold hydroalcoholic solution for about 72 hours. What is a hydroalcoholic solution? That just means part water and part spirit. Neutral spirit / vodka. Okay? Most vodkas are what we call a neutral grain spirit or a neutral spirit because there's no flavorings, there's no additives, there's no anything else. It's just grains that have been fermented and distilled and turned into higher octane, 40% or above alcohol. So we take the alcohol in the water and we soak the coffee beans for 72 hours to chill at a cool temperature. So we do a cold brew extraction. Why? This gives us maximum... I forgot to start recording myself on the other camera, damn it. That gives us maximum flavor extraction with just the right level of acidity. We're not going to bring out too much acid. We're not going to bring out not enough acid. Muskoka, thanks for joining back. I will call you Tia, Miss Maria. Tanim, thanks for joining. If you're here for the trivia night, you're going to want to go back after we're done and rewatch this cast because I just spilled the beans. See what I did there? Spilled the beans, talking about coffee liqueur, coffee beans. I spilled the beans on how we make Tia Maria. So we take those Arabica coffee beans, we soak them in that solution to extract the flavor and just the right level of acidity, just like Corey. Sorry, dude, he just popped up and I'm like, boom. I love teasing my cousin Corey. It's great. Right, dude? Just don't hit me with a hockey stick. And we don't even need to go down that road. Anyway, that's the coffee base of Tia Maria, because when you think about Tia Maria, it's 3 main components. It's that cold brewed Arabica coffee. Right, Kyle? Thanks for hopping back on. It's been minutes. It's cold brewed Arabica coffee. It's pure Madagascar vanilla, and we actually do the same thing with our vanilla. Same as Di Serono. It's the same vanilla that we use in Di Serono, is that Madagascar vanilla. We take the fresh pods or beans. I know I deserved it, dude. Come on. Let's just bygones be bygones. It's just a fun thing to say every now and then. We take those vanilla beans and we process them in-house. We put them through a 4-phase, you might want to remember this for trivia night people, we put them through a 4-phase transformation process of drying and roasting. That gives us our bourbon Madagascar vanilla, okay? That, the coffee, and then overproof Jamaican rum. Now, I can't say what brand of rum, because there's a number of rums that are produced on the island of Jamaica. I'm not going to say that we source specifically from blah, blah, or yada, yada. We source Jamaican white rum. It's proprietary. They don't even tell me. So I couldn't tell you because I don't know. All right. And yes, I'm just drinking Tia Maria neat. Because why? You can. It doesn't need anything else. Now, yes, it's great in a cocktail. And now I'm realizing that I put my ice back in the freezer after the Di Serono thing, and I forgot to get my ice. So I'm going to go grab my ice. But I'm going to bring you with me. So, because I want to keep talking to you while I do this. And you're getting kind of a virtual tour of the cottage, but not really, because my face is in the way. So once we have those 3 key components of Tia Maria, that's what it is. We don't need to add artificial colorings or flavorings, or we don't add dark chocolate like some brands. We don't add other components like corn syrup like some brands. We don't blend our rum with vodka. We don't blend our coffee beans like some brands. Not naming names because there's tons of different coffee liqueurs out there. But anyway, there's that. Now, glass, King Cube. No, I didn't make perfectly clear ice. I'm at the cottage. Come on. I'm supposed to be, not working, but I'm working. Anywho, I'm going to make one of my favorite Tia Maria cocktails. And some of you out there know this one. I've done it before. You've had it with me either in person or if we were doing a work with. Now, Kyle, you and I haven't done a work with, but as soon as I can travel, I want to set up a work with. Like, you're first on my Alberta work with list, buddy. Dakota, thanks for joining, my dear. It's been a while since I've seen you hop on. Thanks for joining us for a later version of Tia Tuesday. Wow. The rain is nice and gentle. It's a lot more gentle than I expected. I was expecting like whoosh. And Corey knows what I'm talking about when the rain comes, it just like boom, buckets. In fact, I was woken up the other night by buckets of rain. Excuse me. Steak sandwich. I'm kidding. Really? Come on. Would I say that? No. I'm just messing around. Mario, how you doing, dude? Thanks for hopping on. All right. So, like I said, this is one of my favorite Tia Maria cocktails. It's also one of the most simple Tia Maria cocktails. Ladies, you're going to love it. Guys, you're going to love it. Why? Because it's got everything that people love. It's got 2 ingredients, which is fantastic, right? So it's got bourbon. Who doesn't like bourbon? If you don't like bourbon, we can't be friends. I'm just kidding. I don't judge like that. Monty, stop crying. It's just a little thunder buddy. Gosh. My dog is the biggest princess ever. Anywho. So I'm making the revolver. And if you've seen me do this before, great. If not, don't worry about it. It's super simple. So I'm taking 2 ounces of Old Forester bourbon. Now, Old Forester is actually the first commercially bottled bourbon ever. I did not know that until just last year. And yet I have been a bourbon fan most of my life. Wink. There we go. So I've got 2 ounces of bourbon in my glass with my King Cube. Boom. Next, I'm going to take my Tia Maria. Monty, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. Don't worry. You're fine. Yeah. It's all good. Oh, yeah, you get it. You get that. Now I'm going to take a half an ounce of my Tia Maria. Anybody want a dog? Now, thank you, Kyle. That's right. Bourbon is growing. And I'll say this. More and more women are drinking bourbon and bourbon cocktails and whiskey cocktails, be they bourbon, scotch, rye, whatever. Bourbon and brown spirits are growing in popularity again, especially among women. It's no longer a gender thing. A lot of people are like, oh, this is a man's drink. Screw that. It's a drink. And guys, don't be afraid of cocktail in coupes or glasses with stems. You know how often I would make a cocktail as a bartender and guy'd be like, can you put that in a rocks glass for me? I don't want to drink something out of a stem. Dude, man up. It's not a gender specific drink. It's a drink. Just drink it and enjoy it. Doesn't matter what glass it's in. Come on. Actually, it does, because we put it in that glass for a reason. Because the aromas, the bouquets, the flavors, the way it's going to hit your palate, things like that do matter. Like, come on. Just drink your drink. A weighted jacket for thunder. That's interesting. That's interesting, Elizabeth. I'm going to look into that. Thank you for that. You divorced your dog. Oh, that's just mean. Anyway, everybody, here's the revolver. It's basically just an old-fashioned with Tia Maria instead of simple syrup or sugar cube. So 2 ounces bourbon, ½ ounce Tia Maria, put it in a glass, boom, Bob's your uncle, or maybe not. In this case, Jim's my uncle. Corey, in this case, Al's your uncle. Whatever, doesn't matter. Somebody's your uncle, right? Cloud9, thanks for joining all the way from Brantford. Oh yeah. Why is this such a great combination? Because there's a compound called vanillum. Yes, vanillum in oak. And all bourbon is aged in virgin oak barrels. You have to be aged in a virgin oak barrel in order to be considered bourbon, among other stipulations set down by the FDA. Hey, Jen, how you doing? It's been a while. Need to chat with you about something, but we'll talk about that after. Anyway, there is that compound in oak which imparts a vanilla note into whiskeys. Doesn't matter what whiskey you're tasting, you can probably find a note of vanilla in there somewhere because it comes from the oak. American oak is a little bit denser and therefore going to import more baking spices and a little less vanilla. European oak will sometimes import more vanilla. It's also going to be a lot softer. Well, it's not a lot softer. It's a little less dense. So you're going to get more floral notes from European or French, typically French oak, which is things like cognac would be aged in. But you're going to get that vanilla note. So bourbon has vanilla in it. Tia Maria has vanilla in it. So you're getting vanilla and vanilla. So there's your first handshake right there. Whiskey and coffee, bourbon and coffee. Hello. Need I say more? Not really. My work here is done. It's all great. Yeah, Kyle, 51% corn, made in the U.S., has to be distilled at a certain thing, has to be bottled at a certain thing, has to be aged a minimum number of years in virgin oak, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really want to get into all that, but thank you, Kyle, for throwing that out there for the viewers. Yeah, actually, that's right. So American oak, like I said, and even Canadian oak, there are actually whiskeys being aged in Canadian oak. Sorry, let's just say New World. So American oak is denser. The fibers of the wood are actually denser and tighter together. So you actually have to char the barrels a little bit more to break them open, to let that whiskey seep in there and age and pull all that flavor out, as opposed to French oak, which is and it's climate-based and things like that, and strands and species, and there's all kinds of botany and biological stuff that I don't remember and totally understand that goes into it, but French oak is a lot softer. It's still oak, so it's a hardwood, but the fibers are just a little bit further apart, and because of things like that, you're going to get more... Monty, shut up! I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize for my whining, crying little sack of fur potato that's just so miserable and unhappy, and he hasn't had any love at all today. And I didn't spend any time playing the ball outside with him. I didn't spend any time giving him belly rubs. He hasn't had any treats at all today. Anywho. Yes. And you know, it's getting hot in here with the hat on, so I'm going to take that off. Yes. French oak is a little bit softer. You're going to get more floral notes, lavender, jasmine, things like that from French oak. So yes, your wood density, and again, even once you get into things like port casks and sherry casks, that's a whole other ball of wax. Especially once you get into Solera. I don't even want to talk about Solera right now because that's a whole other story. Anywho, Michelle, you're welcome to him. Kyle, my dog is a 45-pound Boston Terrier, British Bulldog cross who thinks he's the size of a Mastiff. And Cloud9, the pork chop has had all of the treats today, and he knows what he's going to get later. Trust me, he knows. Spoilest dog ever. He's just a giant chicken, and when the thunder goes, he's just like, quivering little wet kitten. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about Tia Maria today. So to recap for everybody that's on for trivia tonight, we are 100% Arabica because we grow at a higher altitude. We harvest at 800 to 1,200 feet above sea level. We roast in-house. We cold brew in-house. We bring our vanilla in fresh. We roast that and process that in-house. We do almost everything we can in-house. Okay, now, and I wish I had a teaser with me. Just like Di Serono, which is a 500-year-old, almost 600-year-old company, 1525, they're launching their first innovation with Di Serono Velvet, this gorgeous white bottle behind me. Tia Maria, which has been around since the 1600s, is now launching their first innovation. And the LCBO has posted their intent or notice to purchase, which means they will be placing a purchase order. Kyle, why you gotta do that, man? Tia Matcha, everybody. Tia Matcha. That's right. Tia Maria is coming out with a cold brew matcha cream liqueur. Okay. Sorry, maybe not cold brew, but they're coming out with a matcha cream liqueur. It is a matcha tea cream liqueur. I'm not a big matcha fan because usually it's fairly chalky and a little bit pasty when you drink it. This stuff is not. This stuff is delicious. Apparently, it's dropping in Alberta, thanks to Mr. Kyle's spoiler, on June 18th, which means I'll be placing my order to smuggle a case in from Kyle June 19th. Got that, Kyle? Oh, Jin, that's something I would expect from Stan the Vodka Man. You're welcome very much. C2 can play that game, man. Yes, Elizabeth, I'll make sure that you get some. And when that comes, it's going to be a huge launch. So, Elizabeth, I'm going to be coming back to you to do more trivia nights with Tia Matcha, with Di Serono Velvet. There's going to be some huge stuff going on. Yes, Kyle, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm getting, yes, to answer your question, Kyle, yes, I need another one. So set that up and we'll get that going. But when Matcha launches, and for those of you who don't know, Kyle's my velvet connection out west. He helps me smuggle in. My live keeps freezing. I'm not sure who that was. That was just a number. So whoever told me my live keeps freezing, I do apologize. I am up in the remote woods. The Wi-Fi and the internet isn't the best up here at times. I do apologize. This will be going live. Well, I'll be saving this to my Instagram. It will also be going to my YouTube. And the tiny URL to my YouTube is in my bio. Link in bio. Anyway, guys, I'm going to bounce because this guy's driving me nuts. And it looks like there's a break in the rain, so I'm going to take him out and whatnot. Sorry, I'm just reading. I love that people text me and WhatsApp me while they're watching me. Just post the comment in the chat. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. I'm going to go start my rack of lamb and my wild mushroom risotto for dinner. Ha ha. Because that's how I eat up here. It's not all, craft dinner and hot dogs. In fact, I haven't had either this week. It's been penne con salsicce. It's been steak and baked potato. Tonight is rack of lamb. Tomorrow's just going to be leftovers, basically. Right, dude? Yeah, you're not spoiled at all. Anyway, guys. Well, I'm sorry for freezing, and get yourself a new number now that you've moved out here. Gosh. Like, what the heck is a 604 area code? Anyway, thanks, Maria. It was fun. You and I need to chat some more. Everybody have a great evening. I'm going to clean up my mess from both this and the previous DiSerrano chat. I know hot dogs are a treat. I miss hot dogs. Anyway, guys, have a great night. I will be back on Thursday at 6 for one more DiSerrano session, and I got something fun planned for that. And then Fizz Fridays. Boom. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you later.